Tom James, we are about to get started. Take your seat. Please take your seat. Come on in. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage our hosts, LeVar Smith and Sheila Khanna.
Hey, Tom James. Happy Tuesday.
Did y'all enjoy yet another night off? No? Yes? Come on.
I
Let's
hope
hear about
so. It was a great evening. Had some great sessions yesterday.
it. Right? Talking about some bold thinking
That's
and
right.
then telling your brand story. Who was your afternoon sessions with?
I had Ingrid Geisman and Scott Weaver. Ingrid brought her client to our session, and he told us what the brand meant to him, which was super cool.
I mean, there's no better recognition than understanding what the clients are thinking and hearing about
It
us,
was
right?
awesome. He told us that they're dressing up again. He was right on board with what Tim was saying about suits coming back, so it's
Yeah.
cool.
And we had Alex Homer. I mean, the man brought it home when he was like, eat the cooking. So if you're going to be selling the best, why not be wearing the best every single day? And then to wrap it up, I even got a new client booked, and the first thing he said was, I'd like to just look at suits. Is that weird?
Wow.
I was like, what a coincidence. That's all we're talking about.
I love it. I love it. I thought that was the coolest session yesterday.
It was.
Really good. Everybody feeling good today? All right, time to get down to business again. We've got a great session this morning. We're going to recognize some first-time club achievers. We're going to have a retirement ceremony once again. And then we'll get into the third part of our sessions today, which is...
Brave selling
Yes.
and prospecting.
Yes, it's going to be awesome.
Yep.
But before we do that, let's
Who
get
wants
into
some clothing?
free clothes once again. Let's get it going.
And we're going to be talking about the one and only platinum package, y'all. So hopefully somebody that really needs some clothes is going to get drove today. All right. Let it be a 4-digit number again. That'll be so fun. Ooh, 6, 5, 4, 6, 7. How about Scott Hess?
There he is. Come on down.
Yeah, Scott, come on through.
Congratulations, Scott.
Come on in.
Man, you're looking sharp already,
I know,
man.
right?
Gonna be looking extra sharp. All right. Everybody
Got
give it
it.
up for Scott
Congratulations.
and his platinum package. That's awesome. That didn't take long. That was great.
Now, of course, we want to be recognizing some first-time club achievers.
That's
and
right.
we're going to be focusing on everybody that won or restarted last year, so 2023.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody that hit Hayes or Chairman's that we recognize in January won't be on this. And, of course, we'll be recognizing our PC guys
That's
and
right.
ladies tonight.
So I believe we have a little video, right? All right. Well, to honor our first-time club achievers, we'd like to bring up the executive team to take a photo with each achiever. So let's bring up Todd, Steve, Jason, Brant, and Micah. Please come up on stage. And then when we call each achiever's name, please enter from our right. Take your individual photo with the executive team, and then you can exit to our left. All right.
All right, first up, we've got Emily Franson from New York. Emily hit this in her 10th month of 1,025.60 units.
Way to go, Emily from New York. And then we have from Brisbane, Australia, Miss Cassandra Blonde, President's Club restarter, 22 months, 1,042.91 units. Cass Blonde.
Okay, gotcha. All right, next we've got Patrick Gainey from Philadelphia. President's Cabinet in 1254.31 units.
From Atlanta, GA, Lauren Hudson, President's Cabinet Club, 1,269.11 units. And she did it in 57 months, y'all. Way to go, Lauren.
And looking great in this linen suit, man.
Ooh, I know it. Beautiful colors.
Also from Atlanta, Georgia, Miss Madison D.
Yay, Madison.
Madison hit President's Cabinet in her 16th month at 1271.33 units.
San Antonio, Texas, Miss Crystal Martinez. President's Cabinet Club, 71 months, 1,279.67 units. Way to go, Crystal.
She's hustling.
I see her. All right. We'll wait for you, Crystal. Can we give her
Don't
another
run.
round of applause, y'all?
Yeah.
Encourage her to come on up. Yeah.
All right, we know her well, the one and only Miss Tiffany Popson.
Tiffany. Way to go.
Out of New York, President's Cabinet at 1364.46 units.
And from Boise, Idaho, Courtney Turner. President's Cabinet Club, 11 months, y'all. Come on. 1,419.92 units.
All right, the one and only Eric Sipe out of Seattle. This is his restarter President's Cabinet Club. Just 17 months, y'all, 1251.95.
And from Washington, D.C., Miss Jillian Dillon. President's Executive Club, 34 months, 1,770.75 units.
You. Out of Melbourne, we've got Christina Burke at 13.85 units for President's Executive Club.
Way to go, Christina. And from Tampa, Florida, Tiffany Sanders. President's Executive Club as a restarter. 1,759.76 units. And she did it in only 23 months, y'all. Killing it.
We all know this friendly face too well, Mr. Duncan Ham, restarting it out of the Charlotte office for Chairman's Club in 94 months. 2,016.88 units.
Look at that cup.
The goblet.
That's awesome. Out of New York, Melissa Marzik, Millionaires Club. 2,750 units, y'all, in 154 months. Way to go, Melissa.
Let's give it up for Amber Schrader, Millionaires Club out of Boston. 2,752.23 units.
Yeah.
143 months, y'all.
I like that photo too, Sheila. She only does Oxford. You see that? Just delivering Oxford all the
What
time.
gets you to Millionaires
That's
Club?
what gets you there.
apparently.
Out of Madison, Wisconsin, Mr. Rob Ringeisen. 2,753.58 units. Yeah.
Next, out of Atlanta, Georgia, give it up for Ayman El Shami. Millionaires Club in his 84th month at 2,797.53 units. Proud of you, Ayman.
It's getting after it. Over 200 units a month. All right, New Jersey, Mr. Eric Heimowitz. Millionaires Club restarter. Heimo. 2,881 units.
And of course, we've got Mr. Andy Wewell out of Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
Restarter Millionaires Club in 50 months, y'all. 2,894.29 units.
Wow. Wow. Look at that. Come on up here, Mr. John Cardos from New York, New York. Hayes Ambassador Club. Right on the dot, 3,000.00 units. That's how he does it. That's how he rolls.
Clean.
Yeah.
Look at that sales school photo. Come on.
Oh, he's one of the ones that needs to take a new photo.
Note to self.
He does need a new. Oh, just take the picture. We don't have the Hayes. We don't have
We
the
don't
Hayes
have
trophy.
the Hayes one, sorry.
No.
Whoops.
Sorry.
They're hunting for it. Oopsie.
All
Let's-
right.
Oh.
From Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm sorry. It's your turn,
good.
right?
Go.
No, you go. You go.
From Charlotte, let's bring up Joe Price. Hayes Ambassador Club, 3,005.19 units. Way to go, Joe.
What's that?
Should we get John back up here for a picture with that, or does that matter?
Yeah, John, did John not get his picture?
No, they had right here.
Oh, not, John, come back up for your picture, man. We found it, we got it. All right, and from Nashville, Tennessee, Miss Ashley Johnson. 3,011.62 units. Way to go, Ashley.
And of course, out of Minneapolis, we've got Rebecca Garces, Hayes Ambassador Club at 3,026.45 units. Give it up for Rebecca, y'all.
Woohoo! Atlanta, Georgia, Miss Alyssa Ablon. She sold over 3,131 units in just 52 months. That's amazing. That is amazing.
And out of Washington, D.C., welcome to the stage, Miss Nicole Adams.
Hey, Candice.
Top of the Mountain Club, y'all.
Wow.
3,315.29 units in only 131 months.
She is killing it.
Like greedy.
Yes. It's like she did Millionaires and Hayes in the same season.
Dang.
Come on.
Nicole, leave some for the rest of us. Come on.
Right. Out of London, Mr. Sean Hickey. Sean did 3,351.67 units.
Also hitting Millionaires and Hayes
Man.
along the way.
Amazing. Rocking that white linen, man.
It's a linen kind
Killing
of
it.
day.
Looking good.
All right, we know this space all too well. Mr. Jack Tierney out of Washington, D.C.
Yeah, Jackie.
Pikes Peak Club. 3,916.06 units in 178 months.
Yeah.
God.
Jack Lewis. And out of Greenville, South Carolina, Miss Jill Scott. Pikes Peak Club Restarter, 3,989 units. Queen of the referrals. Queen of the referral questions.
I had to read that twice. Y'all, she did that in 18 months.
That's crazy. It's the power of the referrals, I think. Wow.
That power of Jill Scott.
Power of Jill Scott, true. Point taken.
Oh, Rick Brightville out of Cincinnati.
Yo, Ricky B.
Capital Peak Club. 4,520.81 units. Way to go, Ricky.
And out of Greenville, South Carolina, Mr. Jim Poston. Jim hit Capital
Great job.
Peak Club. And he sold over 4,523 units, y'all. Getting after it.
Out of Boston, we've got Miss Samantha Hammond.
Hey!
Capital Peak Club, y'all. In 34 months,
Wow.
4,663.28 units.
Wow.
Of course, hitting Millionaires and Top of the Mountain and Pikes Peak.
Goes on and on. From New York, Miss Heather Message. Heather sold 4,683 units.
Woo!
Way to go, Heather.
Let's welcome to the stage Mr. Greg Pittman out of Raleigh. Mount Lincoln Club, y'all, 5,217.73 units. Way to go, Greg.
Way to go, Greg. Yeah. Out of Houston, Texas, Alex Homer. Alex has achieved Mount Massive Club, selling 5,710.05 units. Way to go, Alex. Yeah.
And bringing his beautiful family to the stage.
Indeed, indeed.
Love it. Whew. From Atlanta, Georgia, please welcome the one and only Cheyenne Peacock.
Yeah, Cheyenne. Come on up.
Mount Massive Club at 5,888.38 units. I just like reading that out.
Yeah.
That's just amazing.
Huge. It's like 500
Give
a
it
month.
up for Cheyenne, y'all.
Yeah, Cheyenne. Out of Boston, Massachusetts, Dominic Roberto. Matterhorn Club. That's a lot of units right there. That's a lot of units, Dominic. Whoa.
I said,
Whoa.
dang.
Man. I don't even know what to say about that.
Just another Tuesday.
Just another Tuesday.
Next up, we've got Jeff Franklin out of Lubbock, Texas.
Yeah.
You got Jeff in here?
6,500 units. All right, can we give another round of applause for all of our first-time club achievers, y'all? Don't go too far, executive team, please. To honor, we're going to move right into our retirement session for Dave Weichel. Can we give it up for Dave Weichel, y'all? And to introduce him, we're going to have Jason come to the stage. Not too far, executive team. Y'all come in. You bring him back? Okay, cool. Thanks.
Good morning. What a privilege it is for me to introduce and to help to honor my loyal, longtime dear friend, and a man I consider a mentor both in life and in leadership, Mr. Dave Weichel. Dave's career with Tom James spanned the last 34 years. During that time, Dave was a seller. He was a leader. He built a large organization across multiple states in many cities. He was a teacher and a coach. He served as a divisional president. He oversaw corporate training and the establishment of our corporate training center in Chambersburg, Pennsylvania. During COVID, he led our efforts to completely restructure our training so that we can continue to equip partners via Zoom for this once-in-a-lifetime career in a world that had radically changed. He has impacted the lives of thousands, including so many of you. And in every role in which Dave has served, he lived out our mission statement. For Dave was, is, and has always been in the people business. For over 34 years, Dave builds people. Dave is the son of a pastor, a career based upon service, listening, loving others without judgment, mentorship, counseling, ministry, and teaching. And there is no doubt in my mind that growing up witnessing his father's pastoral career profoundly impacted Dave in his life and his life's passions. We can all see those attributes in Dave, and we can see them lived out during Dave's career here at Tom James. You know, Dave didn't actually start out his career life at Tom James. He started out as a teacher. And when his wife, Christy's career eventually led the two of them to Connecticut, and a master's degree was actually required in Connecticut for him to continue teaching, Dave found part-time work in a clothing store there in West Hartford. Part-time work in West Hartford then led to full-time work at the Clipper Shop, another retail shop in Avon, Connecticut. This is where Dave really began developing his craft and building his reputation in clothing. Dave didn't simply work for the Clipper Shop, he helped to build it. His reputation in the business was such that a Tom James rep actually dropped in to meet him and shared with him our opportunity. And I'd just say, considering how well that drop-in worked out, we should consider doing it a lot more often. But when Dave heard that our founder, Mr. Spencer Hayes, was willing to share the ownership of our business with the people who helped build it, Dave went back to the owner of the Clipper Shop to see if he'd be willing to do the same. And fortunately for us, and for the countless people who Dave has impacted over the last 34 years here at Tom James, the owner of the Clipper Shop was not. And so Dave took a new path and he began his career here. From the beginning, Dave was a people builder. He loved and was greatly influenced by our culture, by our values, and by leaders like Osh Deshmukh, Jim McEachern, and Bob Shear. Dave studied people and he studied principles, and he became a master of both. He not only applied what he learned to his own life, but he committed himself to teaching and equipping those around him. One-on-one, Dave makes others feel valued, appreciated, loved, significant, and encouraged, and you all know what I'm talking about. In groups, Dave knows how to bring people together, and he unites them around a common cause. Dave is an extraordinary listener. He listens to understand, and when you are with Dave, you feel completely seen and completely hurt. Dave is direct, he's honest, and he's courageous. He loves people enough to tell them what they need to hear in order for them to grow, regardless of whether it's easy for him to say or if it's easy for them to hear. Dave is more concerned about helping people than he is about people liking him, and that's rare. When Dave confronts, he does so out of love, never out of meanness or the desire to hurt others. As it reads in Proverbs, the wounds of a friend can be trusted, and Dave proves himself over and over as a most loyal and faithful friend. Dave is an incredible teacher. He teaches by asking intentional questions, and thankfully, he never gives the answers. He cares enough, and he is patient enough to help others do the necessary work to come up with their own answers. Dave understands that while the answers are important, the process to find the answers and the growth that occurs along the way are significantly more important than the answers themselves. Dave is principled. He understands principles, he lives by principles, and he teaches principles. He has high standards, and he holds nobody to a higher standard than he holds himself. Dave is not concerned about position, about credit, or about being compensated. He just serves. Finally, although I've saved it till now, Dave is first and foremost a man of faith and a man about family. I know this by how I've seen him live and prioritize his life, by what he cherishes and what he values, and by how he invests this time in his resources. Even if you have never had the privilege to meet his wonderful family, if you have spent any time around Dave, you have heard about them. The odds are that Dave shared some principle or some truth with you by telling you a story about his family, about Christy, about faith. How he either learned that principle or applied that principle in his own life and with those he loves the most. I'm so thankful today that Dave is joined by his wife, Christy. They will celebrate their 50th anniversary of their first date on December 11th of this year. It's just awesome. Dave is also joined today by his brilliant and accomplished and charming daughter, Faith. Long before I ever met Faith, I felt like I knew Faith because Dave never missed an opportunity, privately or publicly, to dote on his little girl and to share how proud he was and is of her. So we have a video we want to play, and if you'll just direct your attention to the screen, and then divisional team, if you'll make your way to the stage.
Dave is a people builder.
Someone that is loyal, committed, dedicated, and a friend.
Just a world-class people builder.
I think of Dave, and I describe Dave as an incredible family man.
From the very beginning, I could tell this was a man that was rooted in principles.
He embodied that concept when he was trained by Jim McEachern and Bob Shear, and really took it to heart.
And where that was born out of more than anything else was Dave. You know, he grew up from very humble beginnings. His father was a pastor in Central Illinois.
But more than just a pastor, he really impacted people, his dad did. And Dave always had that as a model. Dave loves his family. He loves his mom and his dad. I guess it was about when he was 30 years old. His dad at the time was 60 and he lost his dad. And his dad left an indelible mark on Dave. His dad didn't get to see the impact that he made in his life. And what I think in talking with Dave is that he kept that in the back of his mind. His dad didn't get to see the finished product.
He was a teacher originally. His wife, Christy, took a job in Hartford, Connecticut early in their marriage. And when she was transferred, Dave couldn't get hired as a teacher because he didn't have a master's degree. And so that led him to look for part-time work, and he took part-time work in a men's shop the clipper shop. And that's where he really established himself as a men's clothier. He helped the owner of that shop build his business, and if I'm not mistaken, more than double it. And that's also the shop where we recruited Dave.
Dave and I were both in Osh's organization. It was called the Achiever Division.
He was a very good sales professional, and he achieved President's Club. But you could see where his true passion was, and it was with people.
Dave is about just helping people and building people. Dave's biggest influences for sure was Bob Scheer was just an amazing influence on Dave.
And I've watched Dave, grow up in his career. He early on got this opportunity to kind of build out New England. Then Dave got really involved in training and started really investing hard in that, and then worked his way up through, he was a division president.
So when Sergio, our CEO at the time, asked me to take on the responsibility to the people at Tom James as president of retail, one of the things he said is put together your team. And Dave was one of those guys.
What Dave was great at was dealing with the root, dealing with it without judgment, and dealing with it principally.
After about 15 years, I was just going through a real paradigm shift, really one of the darkest times in my life. And so I called him up and I just said, I need some help. And Dave didn't stutter, didn't question anything. He just said, how can I help you?
Dave would regularly walk you through a process of helping you understand how the character traits you wanted to develop in your life. He was one of the people, and maybe one of the first people, that really brought character traits into our vernacular.
Well, Dave was a master at asking questions.
All of us have been Weichel at some point, and I think that's a positive term because, in a way, it's Dave asking the right questions in the right way.
Oh yes, I have been Weicheled.
Well, that term is a term of endearment to us on the receiving end of Mr. Weichel. I'm not so sure he's so fond of it.
Being Weicheled is actually being asked why 5 times in a row.
When I would call him, I'd need some answers, and he wouldn't give me any answers. But what he'd give me is a lot of questions. It's like he'd ask me question after question. I was like, Dave, I just want the answer. And he wouldn't give it to me. He made me think.
Several years ago, when I had hired a rep, and we have very different personalities, and I was struggling to lead them, what Dave Weicheled me on was seeing that person for who they could be and not who they were at that time. And they went on to grow, hit club levels, and now they are a store leader in our company.
But Dave had a great way in his one-on-ones of taking these character traits you wanted to build in your life or develop in your life and connecting them to what you were working through. So you have circle of influence, circle of concern, and then you have the root and the leaves. You'd come with a challenge, or you'd come with something you're bothered by or that's distracting you, and he would say, well, this is a leaf issue. It's out here. Let's get to the root. And he would take that circle of concern that wasn't a bother, that you're worried about something you have no control over, that doesn't really affect your ability to get something done, and he'd relate it to your circle of influence. And that would go down to the root. And he had a really beautiful way of tying those two together.
What Dave liked to talk most about was Christy and Faith.
As a husband, he's so loyal and affirming and loving to Christy, caring husband and father to Faith.
And now the relationship that he has with his future son-in-law, Chris. And so we're all excited about Faith and Chris being married. And but Dave is all about family.
Dave's relationship with Christy is so strong and so authentic. It's a reflection of his relationship with Tom James and the way that, he wants to build us as well.
It's very admiring to watch he and Christy together. And I think that's going to be the biggest part of his legacy, is that Dave is a people builder.
Dave will be one of the pillars of the Tom James Company, there's no doubt. I don't think Dave set out to do that. I don't think that's even a goal of his. I think his goal was to live a life of principle.
He has instilled principles that are so applicable to what we do every day and just have a tremendous impact on our life.
He teaches us to live in our circle of influence and not our concern. And I now find myself teaching my girls to do the same. And I know they'll teach their kids to do the same.
He wanted to leave Tom James better than when he found it.
I really appreciate the fact that he championed those principles in our company, especially as we become a second and ultimately a third generation company. You know, our founders, Mr. Hayes and Mr. McEachern, Mr. Shear and Mr. Casalina, and they embodied those principles, and Dave took that and really championed that.
The things that I'm going to carry on with from Dave, it's loving people and putting others' interest ahead of your own. The last 15 years working alongside Dave has been a tremendous, tremendous blessing.
Dave, you are amazing at what you do, and it's inspiring to so many people. You've given me a passion for training and developing people, and I hope my legacy is just as impactful as yours has been to me. Thank you for all you give.
There are so many things that you've taught me through your words, through your actions, through your questions specifically. I'm just so grateful for the principles that you've instilled in me and throughout our entire company. And that legacy to me is just going to live on for a very, very long time. So I hope you enjoy retirement, time off. You deserve it.
Dave, I love you. I'm so grateful for you, the influence you've had on me, the impact you've had on my business, my leadership, my family, and my life. I'm so grateful for you. And I know that you have so many more years to go. I think the best parts of your life are yet to come. And I hope I'm lucky enough to get to participate in those years. Thank you.
Well, Dave, I'm really excited about this next chapter in your life. You've been a blessing in my life. You've been a blessing to my family. I'm grateful for your career, your years of service, but I'm truly most grateful for our relationship. Congratulations on your retirement, and thank you for not only being a wonderful Tom James partner, but a quality and trustworthy friend.
Dave, I, like so many people here, have been impacted by you. And not just you, right? Your father, through you, through his example, through you, through Christy and Faith and the impact that they've had on your life, your leaders like Todd Brown and Bob Shear and Jim McEachern. I love you and I appreciate you.
Dave, I want to first tell you that I love you and that I'm grateful for you and that I'm proud of you. And I'm so happy for this next chapter of your life. And your desire to make an impact and to leave Tom James better than you found it, it's exactly what you've done. So well done, my friend. Well done.
Dave, congratulations on a tremendous, tremendous Tom James career. I've been privileged and had the pleasure of working with you directly for so many years, and I've seen you develop and grow. And what's been so inspiring about your career to me has been your passion for people and your commitment to their careers and helping them grow and benefit. I know all of Tom James has benefited from your love for not only what we do every day, but people. And certainly you've distinguished yourself in my mind with the way that you've gone about really preparing and storytelling, because there's probably nobody better at telling stories to make application to a great truth in life and in selling. But anyway, I just wanted to wish you all the best as you begin this new phase of your career. And certainly I cherish the memories that we have as friends. And I know Christy and Faith have been an integral part of what you've become and what you've achieved. But I just want to express to you my great admiration and respect for your life, your character, and for the way that you've conducted yourself in my presence and the way you committed yourself to people. But anyway, just best wishes to you, my friend. God bless you really good and continue to make a powerful, positive difference in all you do. Thank you.
So, without any further delay, will you all please help me welcome to the stage Dave's wife, Christy, his daughter, Faith, Faith's fiance, Mr. Chris Yates, and our dear friend and partner for over 34 years, Mr. Dave Weichel. Congratulations. Hey, young lady. Y'all come up. Hey, buddy. Love you. So, if you'll grab the character and just hold it for a minute, if you don't mind, not that one. I'll get this, the character. So, Dave, we'll get a picture in just a minute. We're going to get a picture in just a minute. So we're going to get a photograph in just a minute, but Dave and family, come up here. I want to show you some of the things that we'd like to present to you. The first is a plaque, and it says, "Thank you, David Weichel, in grateful appreciation for 34 years of service. Each and every one of your many contributions are appreciated for the immense value that they have added to the development of our company. Wishing you a long and very happy retirement from all of us at Tom James." Dave, you're welcome. I've got more. I love this, and you can see how robust this is. This is beautiful embossed leather. It says Tom James since 1966. It has your name embossed at the bottom. And it is just absolutely packed with letters from people who love you, adore you, and want you to know that. It says on the inside, "There's the destiny that makes us all brothers. None goes his way alone. All that we send into the lives of others comes back into our own." And Dave, this is just filled with people who you've blessed and who you've gone along with, and your impact will just continue for our lives and beyond. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you. You're welcome. And then one last thing that I'll review, and if we've got a slide so you all out there can see this as well, but one of the honors that we give to Dave as a member of the divisional team is a caricature. And it says can y'all see this? At the top, I need my glasses. I need your glasses, Todd. It's not just gray hair, it's bad eyesight. In honor of your service, 35 years at Tom James, Dave and his wife, Christy, were college sweethearts in Illinois at Illinois Wesleyan University. It says, "Go Titans." After graduation, he taught and coached in junior high football for 5 years. Positions held here at Tom James: VP of Career Development, Director of Corporate Development. career advancement placement, coaching program, lead training program advisor member, divisional team, sales trainer, leadership development, just on and on. And you've done them all with just such extraordinary excellence, Dave. Dave began working for the Tom James Company in 1989 after working for a clothing store in the New England area. He was excited by the opportunity to own equity. So grateful that we do that and that you came here. And to work with a company that cared about his employees. During his time at Tom James Company, Dave was not only an excellent salesman, but he also played an integral role in leading, teaching, and motivating partners throughout the company. He always made himself available for one-on-ones, was willing to have the difficult conversations, and loved making an impact on the company. There's characters in the middle. It says Dave had many meetings with Jim McEachin throughout his career, making him the perfect person to step into the goal and vision with our new partner, and you can see Mr. McEachin here. And then quotes under goals and vision. I'd rather be on a free throw line shooting a one-on-one, down by one, only 2 seconds left. And y'all have heard these things before. In 50-yard line seats at the Patriots Super Bowl, facing a 6-foot putt on the 18th in the club championship, gardening anytime, teaching and training new partners and leaders, fishing anywhere, and being with family. And then there's a character of a man on a boat, and you've taught us this principle over and over again. Now look at the point you want to go, and when you reach your destination, turn around and you'll see the straight line behind you. Thank you for teaching us principles and lessons, Dave. And then the character of someone being Weichelt. So great. His wisdom and dedication will have a lasting influence for years to come. I hope you treasure this, Dave, as much as we treasure you. So if you'll hold this, let's get a photo with you, and then we'll hand the mic over to you. So just get between Micah and Steve, and why don't y'all come join us if you don't mind. And will y'all show Dave your appreciation, please? Thank you. It wouldn't be appropriate if I didn't adjust your mic. It wouldn't be appropriate if I didn't adjust your mic.
This is not easy for me. I don't like talking in front of people. I really don't. I am so incredibly humbled. I'm just close to speechless, so thank goodness that I wrote something out. As I've been preparing and reflecting for this talk, I realize how blessed my life has been. From the very beginning, even though I often took life and the gifts surrounding me for granted, God placed incredible people in my life to get me back on track. Now, not everything has gone as I had planned, gone perfectly. But what I discovered was that the best blessings happened when things didn't go as planned. Those turned out to be the very best blessings. God, I've been so blessed. My parents were a very special couple. They lived a life serving God's people with a loving and giving spirit. They were an example to Christy and I of what unconditional love in their marriage and partnership was. My dad, as you guys all know, was a pastor. He was also the greatest man I've ever known in my entire life. He was principled, had a true love for people. He was courageous. But he always had this little twinkle of mischief in his eye. He was my very best friend. My mom was an incredible woman. She was strong, loving, driven, a planner. She was kind of the rudder of our family. She kept everything on track. And she never let me settle for anything but my best, even though I often fell very, very short of that. Together, they gave me unconditional love and support, and I know I tested that unconditional part many, many times in my life. Together, they created a very loving family, which had a lot of fun growing up. Then Christy came into my life. Christy? Very quickly, I realized she was the woman I was going to marry and spend the rest of my life with. As Jason mentioned, we've been we've been dating for over 50 years and married for 46 of them. Christy is, besides being incredibly beautiful, she's brilliant, she's driven, she's strong. She built a very successful career on her own. She's an amazing, loving mother of faith. She's a real child of God. But Christy's been so supportive and helpful throughout my career with her counsel and business acumen. Plus, for those of you that know her, Christy is a lot of fun to be with. I've been asked many times what I'm going to do when I retire. I tell them I want to spend as much time possible with the love of my life. We've been blessed with our daughter, Faith. She actually came home from the hospital on our 25th wedding anniversary. Thank God she takes after Christy and not me. Chris and Faith. I know you guys have heard a lot of stories about Faith, okay, but she is truly brilliant. She's disciplined, confident, courageous, but since she was a child, she always had this huge heart for the outcast and disenchanted. From a very young girl, she'd go to the person that nobody else was talking to, and she'd go talk to her. It's amazing, the courage she had for that. Her passion continues today as her career is focused for working with first-generation college applicants coming from difficult circumstances at the University of Pennsylvania, where she's working on her master's. She's an incredible person, and Christy and I are so proud of you. Over the years, people have asked me, what do you think of Faith's boyfriend? Well, I explained to them, Chris is an Eagle Scout. He's a National Merit Scholar, graduated from top honors from Holy Cross, treats Faith with respect and like gold, but he is dating my daughter. All that being said, I've come to respect and love Chris. I'm excited for their wedding this January, and I can't wait to see the difference that you guys make in the world. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. Then Tom James came into my life. Little did I know how my life was going to be changed. What an incredible opportunity we've been given here at Tom James from Spencer Hayes. It's truly a once-in-a-lifetime gift. I mean, I've had a lot of jobs before. This is the only career I've ever had, and it's really been amazing. I was so fortunate to be able to spend a lot of time with Jim McEachin. Jim taught me, slow down. Listen really, really hard. Be patient, and ask really good questions to help people build themselves. Then Bob Scheer came and entered my life. This man has had a lasting impression on my life. Words can never express the love and appreciation I have for Bob. Bob invested countless hours with me. He would challenge my thinking and thus my actions. Bob would cut through my BS and excuses and help me see things really, really clearly. There were many times Bob would have to get out his velvet-covered 2x4 and pound those principles into my thick head until I got them. Bob also brought Christy and I into a deeper relationship with God through Jesus. Bob, I'm forever grateful for making such a dramatic impact in my family's life. I thank you very much, sir. I was fortunate to have Ash Deshmute as my division president. Ash is a true student of selling, and did I ever need a mentor in sales? The man is brilliant. Thank you, Ash, so much. I was able to work with a great group of people in the Achiever Division throughout the Northeast and then division president. The friendships and relationships I've been so fortunate to have with all of you are some of the greatest gifts in my life. Each and every one of you made a difference in my life and have been a joy to work with. I could literally list everybody, but then we'd have to be here for another 34 years, so I don't want to do that. When I started working with training, I was given the gift of working with Kim Smith. She came with the job. She inherited me, unfortunately for her. Kim has such a tremendous heart for Tom James people. Kim became their Tom James mom at sales school. She watched them grow up. She looked over them, and when there was a problem, she would call me up and say, Dave, I think you need to talk to so-and-so. She's amazing. She was an incredible asset to me and the company. And I told her she couldn't retire completely last year until I did. So she graciously stayed on for the last year, 10 hours a week, just to keep me out of trouble. So Kim, thank you. In 2010, Todd became president of Tom James, and he graciously asked me to be part of his team he was putting together. Guys, I have never met a man more dedicated, focused, hardworking as Todd. He's amazing. I've learned so much from Todd over the past 14, 15 years. Todd, you truly made an everlasting impact on my life. So thank you. Then Todd put together a team. Mike Cotton, John Holland, Paul Kopp, Steve Nucci, Steve Adams, Jason Caldwell, Josh Roberts, Ash Desmuth, John Hitt, George Stoner, and now Micah Pittman and Brant Taylor. I can honestly say you guys have been some of my best friends in the world. I've been honored to work with all of you. Your commitment to the cause of building Tom James by building people is just awe-inspiring, what you guys do. I'm so incredibly blessed to be able to spend my career with you guys, and I can't thank you enough for the difference you made in my life. Thank you. I was also blessed to be able to work with Laura Willoughby when she came, when I took over, came back to training again, and she brought a whole different perspective to training that I never had before, and she really became a really good friend. So Laura, thank you. And she also put together an incredible dedicated training team. And I truly appreciate Nick and Jessica and Mary Kate. How you guys have grown over the past year and built the department is amazing. It is transforming what we're going to do. You guys are really blessed to have them. Really are. Most importantly, I appreciate all you guys. Tom James. I truly cherish all the times we've had and shared together. Some of those deep conversations we've had, even though some of you didn't really want them, I thank you, because I got more out of those conversations than probably you guys did. You've put so much back into my life. You've changed me, you've built me. I can never thank you enough for what you've done. In preparing for the speech, as I said, I reflected at the beginning of my career. This part's tough. 5 years before I joined Tom James, my dad passed away. Dad had been sick for a few years, and I got the call from Mom it was time to come home. I got to the hospital room at 11:45. My mom took the rest of my siblings from the room so Dad and I could be together. Dad kissed me and told me he loved me. I kissed him and I told him I loved him. And then that quickly he passed away. He was waiting for me. For the next 5 years, I became a very bitter and angry person. Not a nice person to be with. Then I joined Tom James. Went to school down in Dallas, Texas. On the last week, Thursday, we went out to Jim's house for a barbecue. At the end of the evening, Jim sat on the hearth of his fireplace and just talked to us till about 2 o'clock in the morning about life principles. God, it was an amazing experience. Following sales school, immediately we went to Corpus Christi for a national meeting. Guys, I was in Texas for 5 weeks straight. Nothing against Texas. For a northern boy, that was a lot. As the meeting concluded, we were all outside the hotel waiting for the buses to take us to the airport, and a car came by to pick up Jim, not his normal style. And he asked me if I would drive to the airport with him. Of course I said, yeah, I'd be glad to. Threw my bag in the back and hopped in. And being an over-the-top introverted phlegmatic, I didn't say anything when we got in the car. And Jim asked me, so what'd you think of the meeting? I responded, good. Then he was quiet for a few more minutes, and then he said, well, what'd you think of sales school? It was good. I'm sure at this point, Jim is thinking this is going to be the longest ride to the airport he's ever had in his entire life. Jim was quiet for a few minutes and then asked, Dave, what's wrong? Something seems to be bothering you. I responded, Jim, I'm good. I'm all good. Jim asked a few more times, and I just rebuffed him each time, had the wall up. Jim was quiet for a few more minutes and then came back again. Dave, I know something's eating at you. Will you please just let me help? And Jim had this incredible ability to just break through, and he finally broke through the wall. I explained to him that my dad had passed 5 years earlier. I was angry and bitter with God for taking him from me. I was lost and had nobody really to talk to. Jim didn't say anything for a while, looked out the window, finally turned back to me with tears streaming down his face. And he said, Dave, I can never replace your dad, but I can be that guy for you. I told him I truly needed somebody like that in my life. Soon after, he must have called up Bob and told him we had a real whack job in Hartford. And I need your help. Can you help me? Because Bob came back numerous times to Hartford. Had me down in Tulsa for many three-day one-on-ones. You guys think my one-on-ones are tough? You ought to be in a room with Bob Shear for 3 days. But Bob would come to Hartford. I'd pick him up at the airport. We'd go out for dinner. We'd sit in the parking lot and talk for 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I'd get home. Christy goes, what are you doing? I go, then I'd go pick him up for breakfast the next morning. We'd talk again. The man is amazing. Those 2 men changed the whole vector of my life. For the past 34 plus years since then, all I've been trying to do is pay forward all they put back into my life. If you told me earlier in my life that my life was going to turn out this way, I would say, man, I'd have to be really lucky for that to happen. But that would be wrong. I've been very, very blessed. I'm the byproduct of very many men and people that have built me. But that's what we do, guys. We build people. We build each other. There's a story that really, to me, is a great analogy of what we have at Tom James. There was a carpenter at the end of his career, and he told his boss he was thinking about retiring. The boss asked him, would you just build me one more house? So he agreed. But as the process began, it was obvious his heart wasn't really in it, just wasn't into the task. The carpenter began to cut corners, didn't put in his best craftsmanship and best effort. When he completed, he went to the boss and said, I'm all done. The boss thanked him for his years of service and hard work. And the boss reached into his pocket, took out the keys, and said, this is my thank you to you. You just built your own home. Guys, that's what we got. That's the opportunity we've been given. We get to build our own career. We get to build ourselves. That will be the house, the life we create. It's going to be good or not so good. Depends on us. We really get to build our own company, create our own lives, our own career by building ourselves. It's an amazing gift, but guys, it comes with tremendous responsibilities because it is all up to us individually. No excuses, no giving into circumstances. What we achieve is only a byproduct of how we build ourselves. Each circumstance, good or bad, is an opportunity to grow and build. When you take responsibility, no matter what, you can truly then begin your career and your life, the one you desire and the one you deserve. Jim Collins talks about life like a poker game. If you look at life as just one hand, win or lose, odds are you're going to lose. But if you look at life like a series of hands, playing each hand the best you can with the cards you've been given, and then move on to the next hand dealt with the same mindset, you will build an incredible life. So lean into the circumstances and use it for the good. Don't take the easy path. Don't cut the corners. Don't be a victim. Heard a message the other day. You cannot be a victim and be victorious. You can't. So choose to be victorious. Choose to build an incredible life, an amazing career by building yourself. Guys, I thank you again for putting so much into me and my family's life. We appreciate you so very much. Thank you all so much. Take care.
Y'all give it up one more time for Mr. Dave Weichel. Now, if you truly want to send him off in style, you know the right thing to do, right? Buy him a nice scotch and a great cigar. I think he'll appreciate it. Thank you, Dave. Next up, we're going to have the one and only Miss Tiffany Sanders, and she's going to be talking about brave selling and prospecting with you guys. So if we can have Tiffany to the stage.
Thank you.
You got it. You look so good.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Oh, that was beautiful. I think I cried like 3 different times during Dave's video and speech. We will all miss you, Dave, so much. So, today, why am I talking to you about bold prospecting and selling? 10 years ago, I uprooted my life in Florida after graduating from UF and moved to New York City without knowing a soul and for all the cliche reasons that one moves to New York. If you told me in 10 years I would have built a Hays business in New York, moved for love and started over to build a cabinet business in London, and then fall out of love and move back home to rebuild to a chairman's club business in Tampa, where I would also find the love of my life, I don't think I would have believed you. Growing up, I was always average at things. I was a competitive swimmer, but never really placed. I was never really naturally gifted in school. And when I had my college sales internship, I tried so hard to be number 1, but just couldn't get past 3rd. When I came to Tom James, I saw it as my chance to be the best at something, to be in the number 1 spot. The Rookie of the Year, break records, and be in the Hall of Fame. I wanted to prove to myself that I could be amazing at something and create a life that I would be proud of and that my parents, who gave me all the love in the world, would also be proud of. I achieved this through forcing myself to be bold and to get comfortable with the uncomfortable really fast. I built these businesses through the power of bold prospecting and selling, floating and intentional referral gathering. I'm here to let you know that it in fact does not matter what market you're in. The clientele is there for you. The fish are out there. You just actually have to go fishing and reel the line in when you have one on the hook. A lot of us are casting the line in the water over and over, or getting a bite and letting the fish off the hook. I want to help you understand where we're going wrong and course correct to allow you to get more out of what you put in. So, what is the definition of bold? The definition of bold is showing an ability to take risks, to be confident and courageous. Synonyms: daring, brave. And then also applicable to us and what we do, it's having a strong or vivid appearance, striking. There was another one I was going to say, eye-catching, striking and eye-catching. The ability to be bold stems from having what? Confidence. If you don't have a strong baseline of confidence, what should you do? You need to develop your confidence by educating yourself, by doing research, reading really, really good books, going beyond the bare minimum of what you should know, being a sponge and turning your reasons that you don't have confidence into your list of what to focus on growing in. It does not need to be innate. It needs to be developed. Because who do successful people want to work with? Successful, confident people. When I started in New York in 2014, I was the ultimate sponge. And I did whatever my leader and my training team said would make me successful. I was getting my 15 referrals a day, making my training team squirm in their seats with awkwardness, as I boldly asked some of the most successful businessmen in the world for referrals with jogger question after jogger question, to end by following it up with a curated hot list, waiting pen in hand, head down until they spoke. I was running around the most prominent blocks of New York City, getting my 10 floats a day. Sometimes getting kudos from people who respected the hustle, sometimes being told to F off. New Yorkers, am I right? I was, however, abysmal at adding referral and directs and prospecting online. I found it so tedious, time-consuming, and monotonous, and frankly, I never got the number of RIs in the system that I was supposed to. But my method was working. I was doubling down on my floats and referrals. I was averaging 18 new clients a month for my first 8 months in the business. Then, as we humans tend to do, I stopped doing as much of the things that brought me success. I was keeping my eyes down and not floating as much. I was lazier with the way I asked for referrals and letting people off the hook way too fast because I felt like I had the success and I didn't need to do the nitty-gritty anymore. I savvily got access to a very successful investment bank's directory and started to call through this cold list of finance guys where I had some clients and I could drop a few names. I was working my butt off, putting in intense 12 to 14-hour New York days, booking at least 7 appointments daily. But now, however, I was getting canceled on, no-showed, and pitch no-selling more than I ever had. I went from averaging 18 new clients in the first 8 months to 8 new clients for the next 6 months. That is a 10 less client per month, a 55% decrease in the amount of clients I was getting pretty much overnight. I'd let my referrals and floats dry up and the remaining ones get crusty. Moral of the story is the bold prospecting was working, and the diluted prospecting was making me spin my wheels and work even harder, but getting way less out of it. And so what is diluted versus bold prospecting? Diluted prospecting is your random LinkedIn and Instagram messaging when you don't really have a steady social media presence. It's your emails, calls, text to cold names or referral and directs. It's your drop-offs, dropping it off, running out, hoping you don't run into anyone. It's your mailers. Bold prospecting are your in-person introductions by the client or prospect you're with. It's floating and doing your visual prospecting everywhere and anywhere. It's getting qualified referrals through strong questions. And it's dropping in and actually meeting someone. When we meet someone in person, or we have a strong referral name, or that text email introduction, we become a real person, not a spam bot or a telemarketer who can easily be dismissed. I'm sure, like me, you signed up for this job to be in client-facing sales and not to be a telemarketer calling from a desk in an office all day long. And you need to remind yourself of that every single day. And so, what are these objections? Whether they're real or imagined, internal or external, that we need to overcome in order to boldly prospect. There's a ton. I'm sure you guys can relate to at least one or two or maybe all of these. But some are, I don't know enough about the business to be referable. Floating makes me want to die. Nobody's dressing up. Our stuff is so expensive. It's way too cringe to get in-person intros or drop in on a prospect. And that's just a few. Regardless of reality, how you perceive something becomes the story that you believe to be true. And so ask yourself, what story are you telling yourself? What unproductive and negative dialogues are you allowing yourself to believe to be reality? We need to flip the script. What if instead of those objections we thought of earlier, we could think, I am worthy of excellent prospects. why wouldn't they want to work with me? I am not the cheapest option. I do not pretend to be, and I do not want to be. I grow by making myself get comfortable with the uncomfortable. Asking for high quality referrals is just working harder or smarter, not harder. And people love what I do for them. Let's get out of our own way and prospect boldly. Ask for that introduction at the law firm. Compliment that powerhouse at Starbucks. Have those 10 intentional jogger questions ready for that new prospect. And go into that office to meet the CEO that you've been trying to get in front of. Let's work smarter, not harder. Let's get comfortable doing the uncomfortable because it's the only way that we can stretch and in turn grow. Do the things that will make future you grateful for right now you. And when it comes to bold selling, regardless of where your market is or what your personality is like, we all have the opportunity to sell boldly. And bold selling can take many forms. Imagine selling everyone you see. They're excited about your new ideas. They trust and rely on you for all parts of their wardrobe. Imagine yourself as an invaluable asset to your clients. I want my clients to think of me as a one-stop shop. I want my clients to think to text or call me when there is anything they need for their wardrobe. I have a client, his name is Ira Lambeth, who has gotten suits, sport coats, slacks, shirts, custom jeans, shoes from me. He even got his wife working with me. One day he randomly texted me, this was just a couple of weeks ago actually, and he just said he decided he's going to start wearing tie clips and asked me what options I have. I've never spoken to this man about tie clips. But when there was even this small gap in his wardrobe, he thought to come to me first. It's irrelevant that a tie clip costs almost nothing. It's the mindset he had around me being the ultimate resource. I want to be like a department store to my clients. You wouldn't go to a store blindfolded until you got to the suit section. No, you would pass through the shoe department, the shirts, the blazers, and you might think, I really like that. I'm going to buy it, even though you didn't come in for it. We are that department store for our clients, and we can't blindfold them and only show them the thing they brought up, because when they're on Instagram a few days later and that cool jacket pops up in their feed, they buy it because they were shown it and they liked it. We need to consult them and ask the right questions to know which direction to go. We cannot be afraid to let our clients buy, and they cannot buy what we do not present. So what are some of the biggest mental hurdles that hold us back from boldly selling? First is assuming that someone won't buy. We assume someone isn't going to buy either because they point blank said it, or sometimes it's just more of that vibe you're picking up on. But I want you all to stop and think for a second. You're walking into a store, a sales associate walks up to you and says, "Do you need help finding anything?" Now, maybe 10% of you went in looking for something and told her so right away. But most likely 90% of you had that knee-jerk reaction and said, "No, I'm good, just browsing." Sometimes it's us doubting ourselves or thinking that people don't actually want what we do. But we can be a true asset to our clients. They just might not know it yet, and it is our responsibility to show them. The controllable here is to go into every single meeting with enthusiasm, with ideas prepared for every part of the wardrobe, and trust that they want to buy from me and they will love what I do for them. But it's my job to figure out how to make it make sense for them to say yes, through digging in with the right questions to uncover their needs and their wants. We wouldn't go to the doctor's office expecting them to write a prescription before they've understood why we're there. We are the doctor, and we have to ask what's going on with the patient. They might not know it, but through questioning, the doctor can uncover some red flags and then give a diagnosis. The next is that we're selling out of our own pockets, which is to assume that someone else experiences and values something in the same way that you do. I personally would never spend $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 on clothing in one purchase, but that's irrelevant to someone who has a completely different life from me with completely different circumstances. What may feel like the ocean to you might be a drop in the ocean to someone else. That Royal Classic or Oxford Package A that you're scared to show could very well be exactly what your prospect could use. Don't shoot yourself in the foot by assuming something is too much by not even presenting the option. This is true regardless of what market you're in, and I can attest to this as someone who has sold in 3 very different markets, having worked with every personality under the sun at this point. I've also inherited clients in all 3 markets that had been buying from our very entry-level collections. And through re-showing the levels of luxury and explaining what goes into each level, they upgraded themselves to some of our very, very best Holland and Sherry. But what if I had just assumed that they only ever wanted to stay in the entry level? I would have pigeonholed them and deprived them of having better. Present the options and let them tell you what they value. Your client deserves to be and should be wearing the very best that they are comfortable with within their means. The next is asking for the sale. Now, this might be one of the hardest things for a lot of people to do. How do you seal the deal and transition a nice meeting, having a chat, into a full-fledged new client that day, or a sale with your existing client? Sometimes they are on board, no question about it. And other times, you need to hold their hand and gently guide them along a little bit more before they're fully ready to commit. With some people, you can be more direct. With others, it needs to be a little bit more of a subtle art. And the first way is through the alternative close. When you're presenting options based on the pieces you've talked about, I'll show 2, max 3 options, and explain what the differences are between each, and ask which they prefer. If they can't choose, I hone in on which one would be the most versatile option, which they would get the most use out of. More than 2 to 3 options, though, and you're most likely going to confuse any buyer, leaving them overwhelmed. Keep it simple, keep control. Whichever one they pick, in my head, they've bought. The next is your assumptive close. I am always assumptively styling out their garment. And as I get their okay, to me, again, you've bought it. Do you like the mother of pearl button or the buffalo horn button for your sport coat? Do you prefer a more conservative or fun lining for your suit? Do you want a button or French cuff on your shirt? What do you want your name label to say on the inside of your jacket? Your initials, your nickname, a full name? I also get excited and talk about how much use they're going to get out of it and how many compliments they're going to get when they wear it. I want them to visualize themselves in those moments and create that reality. Then we have the urgency close. I know we all use it at trunk show, but you can be using it throughout the rest of the season and year as well. We know some of our coolest fabrics will sell out fast, and it's important to express that to facilitate that sense of urgency. For example, we all know our Holland & Sherry Ladies Tweeds fabrics. I'll show them the fabrics and already mark out and say, this is one of our best-selling fabrics. These swatches have already gone out. It's been so popular. Or with the bamboo folder, I'll show which options they can't have and say, yeah, we only ever make a small batch of these unique fabrics. These sell out super fast every time. Luckily, I still have some options. When I have a client say they'll think about something, I'll say, well, that's fine for the gray suit we talked about. I'll always have that. But that bamboo jacket you liked, probably not gonna have it next time I see you. Why don't we go ahead and get that started? We can pause on the gray. You can let me know on that later. Then we have your direct close. The most bold, and for some scary, is to straight up ask for the sale by asking for the sale. Jim, I know we've covered a lot today and put together a really strong game plan for you, but the only way I can show you what I can do for you and make you happy is if you give me a shot. If what we put together is more than you're ready to start with, why don't we just do these couple of outfits to get your feet wet and get you a feel for working with me? Whatever you've picked out, ask for the chance to show them that you can be an asset for them. To boldly sell, you need to believe in yourself, your ability, and the value that you add. You need to get out of your own way and lean into what might feel uncomfortable so that you can reap the rewards. We are the most talented, driven, and fierce sales force that there is. Let's go out there and boldly show the world what we can do. Be bold.
Give it up for Tiffany, y'all. Bold selling, bold prospecting. That's awesome. Quick announcements. Get your bio photos taken. Every new partner and anyone whose picture was reverted to their old picture needs to stop by for a new headshot. After all, you look better than you did when you were in sales school. So get that done. For tonight's formal night, you may not bring in your own alcoholic beverages due to hotel policy. Drink tickets can be purchased during lunch hour today at the registration desk, and cocktail hour is at 6 until 6:45 this evening. Next up is our breakout sessions at 10, and then I'll see you right back here for the general session at 1:15. Thank you, guys.
Sonora, I tell you friends I adore her, and when she dances, oh brother, she's a hurricane in all.